Yeah, how you doing, everybody? How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Yeah. How you doing, everybody? Hey, how you doing? Oh, that meant that was supposed to fade out. Hey, how you doing, everybody? Co-sider, you got a lot in here. Start. You were 15 minutes early. I didn't even have enough money to I didn't even have enough money time. I mean, I didn't have time to money time. I didn't have enough time to make myself a tea. Okay, how you guys doing? Start. Was at the DMV while you were streaming this morning. Couldn't react then. 13K is an adequate starting point for any slow progress you want. You should rent out your extra room for the most you can get. Get into a rental room yourself and rent the entire place for top dollar. $13K is an adequate starting point for any slow progress you want. Tell any room renters at your house it's temporary, only 3 to 9 months. Paint and upgrade any value added proposals, deep clean and ready for renting it out to one tenant. They will pay the note and taxes while you receive the benefit. The one wrinkle is choosing the right tenant. Then, with the thought of everything working out in your favor, you could stream to your heart's content from whatever you land, and yet still have the option of going back to LA. Okay. A room isn't much more than paying for the tax and assessments on a fully paid off home. You literally could do whatever you were planning on doing anyway and still have a fat payoff at the end of 4 more years. The one difference you will have to get the other money you need, but give it in a different way. No different in amounts, I bet, just hassling roommates, tenants, property managers, etc., etc. A condo in New Mexico ain't going to stand up to a townhome in LA as an investment. That's true. Hey, Sky. Hey, y'all. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? How you doing, everybody? Thank you. Like, the thing about the whole moving thing, and I'm thinking about it all the time. Is that I don't know if I want to. I don't know what I want to do. I want to stay, but on the other hand, it would be nice to have a fresh start. I was looking at. I made a step-by-step thing with Claude today about how I would leave after I decide on June 24th whether I want to leave California. And the truth is, I'm thinking about it. I'm just because I keep thinking I don't have that much. An estate sale, a rental van, I'm gone. Just get a property manager. Sky, hire a property manager when you don't have to vet the renters. Yeah, I think about it. My next door neighbor's a renter. My next door neighbor rents, and I don't know how much they pay, but do I really want to be a landlord? I guess. And then go rent someplace else, but then I still gotta pay rent, I gotta go pay rent. You still gotta live someplace. If I rent this place out, I still gotta live. And like I might as well be living here. If I'm gonna go to all the trouble of leaving and renting and moving, I might as well sell. Don't rent out if you can't afford to repair. Mm-hmm. That's the thing. Well, you wouldn't have to repair if you they make usually the rent pays for all that, right? Like you rent enough. If I'm only paying, you would rent higher than the amount necessary to pay. You would rent more than what the mortgage is worth. So you just put away that extra money. But the problem is there's no extra money to put away if you're trying to live off somebody else's rent that they're paying you. You can't really do it. It makes it kind of difficult. Housing market it doesn't suck here right now. It doesn't suck in California, but it never really sucks in California. I get offers on my house every month. Somebody sends me a letter. Do you want to sell your house? Every month, someone tries to sell my house. It's a seller's market. Yeah, it's a seller's market right now. Yeah. Um, the housing market sucks depending where you are, but I get people always, you seem like a yurt guy, so you know what the kind of place I'm looking at is like. Let me see. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Let me see if I can get some images going here. Dude. See if I get some cool images coming here. I love these 1930s homes in there are these 1930s homes in New Mexico, in Albuquerque. Let me see here. Are you able to see this? Oh man, this one's blue. Are you kidding me? Oh, this is on Instagram. Hold on a second. Oh, walk Albuquerque. Like this type of shit. This isn't even the one I wanted. This blue one right here. Oh man. I just love that style. And Albuquerque's got all these quirky old houses built in the 1930s. I love this shit. Route 66. These like little bungalows out there, Nob Hill. I love that style. That like big thick walls, adobe style housing. Yeah. Big zero landscape. I love this style out there. It's hard to find image though. Let me see if I can get. How about just Homes Nob Hill? Can that give me anything? Oh, that's the same goddamn pictures. I love this like this sky blue on the. Look at this, fully remodeled home for sale in Nob Hill. It's a TikTok. Hold on a second for me. Look at this house. Here's a TikTok of what I'm talking about. Nob Hill. See like the archway doorways and stuff. Look how cool this is. Big open. Look at this. Come on. I could totally live in a place like this. You kidding me? It's small. Look at that. There's extra room. That'd be my studio. Maybe that's the studio. Man. Look at the patio. Come on, bruh. What's that? It's $600,000 for that house. $600,000 for that house? Are you kidding me? I mean, that was in Nob Hill. Looks like a rich man's place. The places in Albuquerque, they look like rich man's places, but they're like half the price of what they would cost where I live. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, I could theoretically sell everything I own here and buy in cash there, and then never have to worry about any of this shit again. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? The never sell property only counts if it's owned outright. If you are paying interest on property, it's not the same thing as owning. Yes, Smoking Bloody. That's what I'm thinking too. Never sell real estate. That's what they say. Land, Scarlet, land. But like I would oh what think of it this way. I wouldn't be selling real estate. I'd be transferring to a place where I would own a home. Think about it like this. I could theoretically sell what I have here, buy a house, maybe not that one. That one was a little pricey for me. Buy a house in Albuquerque and have a little left over to pay all my debt, all my credit cards, my lawyer, my probate lawyer, my maybe my student loan, and still have a little left over to make an investment in a rental property. I could actually make a down payment in a rental property and rent it out. I could literally do what you're saying. You know what I'm saying? Do it. What's so great about Cali anyway? Oh, man, I love it. Look at all us people who love you, Sky. Thank you, the Mac. I appreciate that so much. I needed it. Trust me. You could buy a cash place in Indiana that wouldn't be more than $250,000. Yeah, but the whole point. Okay, so the big point in doing this is not just the money. I want to live in a place where there's people and like cafes, and you can move and meet people and community. I want to live in a place where there's community. I want to live in a place that's built for community. Where I live right now is not built for community. It's built for families and privacy. We have parks and we have rec centers, but that's where people bring their kids. And it's like, I don't have any kids. It's weird when I'm there, you know what I mean? I want to go a place where there's people like, and Nob Hill in Albuquerque seems like that place. I need to go visit, really. I need to save a little bit of money and go and do it. Cali, everything? I don't know, man. It's hard. I love California, no doubt. You could buy all the land on this road for $600,000. Yeah, I mean, there's places in America that are like that for sure. But what are you gonna do with it? I could buy 3 decent houses for $600,000 where I live, and I'm broke where I live. Think about that. Somebody's calling me. I'm live, dude. Somebody's calling me while I'm live. Why are you calling me? What the fuck? Why are people calling me when I'm live? Let me see. Let me see what's going on here. I'm getting. What's the matter? I'm live, dude. Shit. I don't know what's going on. People calling me. I can't answer the phone while I'm live. Your approach is good, I guess. Sky land maxing, maybe. I get the wanting to mingle. Yeah, I mean the thing is, I could live in your truck with your crack wife. That sounds nice. Let's cuddle. I like that idea. You're surrounded by MAGA. No, I do not want MAGA community. Okay, so Albuquerque, Nob Hill is kind of known for things like Nob Hill, Albuquerque. I mean, I want to share the screen again. Nob Hill, Albuquerque. I'm just getting this idea, guys. This is just. I haven't made any decisions yet. I'm not making any decisions until June 24th. I promise no major decisions for 90 days is what I've decided. And I have all of this. It's got all this cool vibe stuff and places to walk around. Very walkable city. Very kind of like old school Route 66 meets kind of what do you call it? So you got an art district. They've got cafes and bars and vegan restaurants and shit. And let me see if I can get like Yeah, there's nightlife. I don't really need all the nightlife, but Nob Hill in Albuquerque is a vibrant, walkable, and trendy neighborhood along Route 66, known for its eclectic mix of cocktail lounges, local breweries, upscale dining. It offers a sophisticated alternative to downtown with highlights including acclaimed cocktail bars like Happy Accidents, live music at the Lemony Lounge, and a casual pub vibes at Two Fools Tavern. Daydream Run Bar, Lemon Eye Pubs and Breweries. They have all these pubs, dining and entertainment, but they also have some vegan restaurants. They have some speakeasies. And the thing about it, like, they have some parks and shit. There's just stuff to do there, I guess, is the point, you know? Yeah. Build a co-op. Oh, there's a co-op there, too. There's a co-op as well. Could have a house and use their special skill to take care of others. Mm-hmm. My dad lives in Texas. Yeah, I never seen my dad. My dad lives in Texas. He's so far away. I don't see that guy. What the heck? So my friend's asking me to take a video down from my YouTube channel, and I guess I'll do that right now because he's freaking out. What the hell? Why is this a thing? Cleveland. Cleveland vegan stop on our tour with PETA. Why are people like PETA? PETA's asking me to take down a video right now. Isn't that funny? I gotta see what the hell is going on here. Details. I don't know why they would make this such a big deal. It's only a 2 minute video. I feel like we should watch it. I feel like I should watch this. What is going on here? Why is this such a big deal all of a sudden? Man, I don't know why my friend is freaking out about this video. Ask them to pay you to do it. Yeah, I just made it private. You know, why do I care? No one's watching that video anyway. It's an old video from... Somebody's asking me to remove a video from 2 years ago. Someone told us some transphobic ties. He would use the man's threat on me, but transphobia is so weird. It just made me laugh at him. Oh, maybe that's why. Because somebody said that somebody threatened us at a bar somebody threatened us at a gas station in Pennsylvania. I don't even know what video it... So apparently, so a long time ago somebody threatened us I was in Pennsylvania and I was going through town with my friend Joseph, and this guy decided to start talking all this gas station attendant. I asked him if I can use the bathroom, but the men's room was like under construction or something. I said, "Can I use the ladies' room?" And he made some trans joke, and I was like, "What the hell?" He says, "Just don't come out of there wearing I think he said, like, don't come out of there wearing fuck me boots or I'll fuck you to death," or he said something really, really weird. And uh and we thought it was funny because it's like, why... that's transphobia is so stupid. And so we thought it was funny that this guy was like threatening us and calling us trans when neither of us were trans. We're both just straight guys, and the men's room was closed. And I said, "Can I get the keys to the ladies' room because the men's room is like under construction or like out of order?" And he said yes, but then he said some like anti-trans shit, and I went, "Okay, whatever." Yeah, TVT just blocked you for saying that downplaying exploitation promotes it. Downplaying exploitation promotes it. What does that mean? PETA also based on donors. They pander to promoting fundamental speciesism. I don't know. It's weird that the irony, yeah, PETA, like whatever. It's on my YouTube channel. It wasn't about PETA. It's something that I experienced on the road. So bizarre. It's just so bizarre. I don't know, man. People get so sensitive about things. It's not like we did anything. We didn't do anything bad or anything. If you're a channel member, you could see it. It's Cleveland vegan stop on our tour with PETA. I kind of want to play it now, but then I'll probably feel bad. But I don't know, whatever. I recorded on there, and now it's like, I'll take shit that never happened for 500 Alex. No, it happened for sure, man. It happened. The guy was really weird, and he said he was joking. He wasn't like, he was joking enough that we were all kind of like, ah, but it was gross and like a little bit, because we're in the middle of Pennsylvania, like in the middle of Pennsylvania, far away from a city in Pennsylvania, in some dirt hole place, and it was daytime, thank God, but the guy acted real weird to us. And Joseph's got he's covered in tattoos, and he had black fingernails, but like I looked like just a regular guy. The guy wanted to say some nasty stuff to us. Yeah, I keep a chat open, I keep a low profile. Yeah. Go to morningsky.live/pyb, https://morningsky.live/pyb. I'm probably going to change that soon. It's probably going to be morningsky.live/Colin pretty soon, because we're going to change the name of the show to Skyline. But as it is today, we actually do have a menu still. The menu is: how is taxation theft? Are you okay with the wars? Why are you okay with the wars? Why do you blame brown people for white crimes? And how is veganism a cult? But you don't have to follow the menu. You can order off the menu. You don't have to be on menu. Don't feel so dialed in. Don't feel so hog-tied, so to speak. It's barely ever talked about. It's what veganism fundamentally rejects. Slavery? Or what? Some weird things get said in redneck, hillbilly, mongrel, halfwit embarrassment location. Weird stuff happens. Yeah. Some hillbilly gas station attendant being homophobic is the most plausible thing I've heard. Yeah, that's all. It was just a weird thing, that a hillbilly gas station. Yeah. And then we made it to Cleveland that same day, and Joseph and I were talking about it on video, about what happened. But that's all that happened. That's all that. And now they're saying I need to take down the video, which is bizarre. 2 years later, 2 years after that happened, I'd forgotten about it. SPLC playing KKK for other extreme groups. Not necessarily paying them. You realize that organizations pay other, like PETA owns shares in Ralph Lauren. You know that, right? Like, they own shares in companies they're trying to get to stop using animals. Does that mean that PETA's giving money to animal abusers? Kinda. They had undercover informants, is the explanation. They had undercover agents and stuff inside of the KKK. So it makes sense that they would have that. Oh my gosh, a ding dang do. How you doing? You're on the air. Hello?
Hey.
Hello? Yeah.
Hey, I wanted to hit that topic exactly what homie just hit. You said, shit.
What?
You said you wanted to know more, but you didn't watch the rest of the clip. He went through a couple of accusations of what they were doing. Essentially, he seemed to suggest that they were kind of paid opposition.
I think that on Fox News they were trying to spin it that way. I watched the whole clip that they were saying on Fox News but the guy also was saying there's the explanation. He was saying what Southern Poverty Law Center, SPLC, what they were, how they were defending themselves, and the defense seems kind of, I don't know. I've worked for nonprofits, and they do stuff like that. I don't know. It doesn't seem so far fetched to me.
If I was like, like, let's say, uh, running an organization that said stop black people from killing whitey, and then I was paying black people to kill whitey, would you assume that I'm just flubbing the numbers so I can get more donations, or trying
My
to be?
my assumption, what I assume is almost irrelevant. What I could prove and what is the truth is more interesting.
Yeah.
Like, I guess, like, if you were doing something like, okay, listen, the SPLC has been around for a very long time. They're an old organization. They've been fighting the good fight against white supremacy and
You want
fascism.
to suck them off? I'm so fucking bored with this already.
I
Hey,
don't want to suck them off. You're the one bringing them up. I mean, I don't.
no,
I'm
no, no,
just.
no, 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 no. I don't. Why you always think that like the topic at hand is the fucking topic at hand? It's called subtext, guy. We're talking about how the government is so freely able to and willing to subvert fucking everything it sees as a threat. That's obviously the topic at hand here. You want to be like, well, I want to suck off the SPLC because they don't like Nazis. So fuck you. So boring. You're so boring. That's so boring. That's not the issue at hand.
Um, Tell me what the issue is at hand. It's calmly, so I understand what you're talking about. Because I'm not sucking them off. I'm merely saying
I don't need a
that
fucking
they're
backstory on the SPLC. If
okay.
like
But
I
the only
and I
thing that
also
I'm
assume they're
saying,
doing things
hold on.
far worse.
The only thing that I'm saying is, well, assumptions. You know what happens when you assume. What
Do
happened?
you
What
want the
happened was
fucking?
they. Does it surprise
You
you
want the
that this?
government to remove the black lines on the fucking documents before you'll believe anything?
Do
Of
you think
course
that
they're
the
not going to,
do you think
Sky.
the government's to be the government is the one bringing suit? So you're trusting the government in
No,
this case?
no, no. This is a limited hangout. They're not going to out themselves. They're not going to like point the finger and say all of the real shit that they're all doing. No, they're just going to try to slap them around a little bit. The SPLC is going to go right on a trucking on after this, guaranteed.
Well, that is again. Are you indicting the SLC or is the government? Because it sounds like you're the one sucking off the government. The
They're
government,
both.
the current regime, is bringing suit against the SPLC. They're making accusations. The SPLC, all we have is their prima facie defense, which is what they're saying publicly, and what they're saying publicly sounds legit to me. That's all that's happened so far, and you're like, fuck you, you want to suck off the SPLC? I don't want to suck anybody off. I don't really like have any skin in the game with the SPLC, but their explanation, because of my experience with other orgs and doing activism, sounds reasonable to me. That's all.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't have any ability to have any trust in the government. I knew if you and I made a political party tomorrow
They
and we
kill
hired
us.
one person, there'd be 100% chance that extra person we hired would be a CIA agent.
Yes, and I guarantee you that the FBI has people inside of the SPLC, which is how they got these documents. And the SPLC is the one that's being on the chopping block right now from the government. They didn't go after the Klan. They're not bringing the Klan up on charges right now. They're bringing the SPLC up on charges for giving money to the Klan. Think about
How
what
can
that
the
is.
government
What do you mean
bring the
how government?
Klan up on charges when the Klan is the government? That's my
Yeah. All right. Well, that's a very good point. That's now we're on the same page. But I don't know why you're so upset about anything that I've said. I mean, the government is going after the SPLC for what? They're I don't trust this. I don't trust Cash Yap Patel and Todd Blanche to bring a legitimate suit against the SPLC.
no. I just find it funny that you want to like try to attempt to defend the SPLC when they're obvious. I mean, to me, like again, this is like, we do all of the crimes under the sun, and then I get mad at you. We have a lover's spat, and I want to talk about your tax evasion, knowing full well we murder people together on the weekend, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't look like I'm attacking you, but in the media, and it looks like I am. It's like, oh, we're really cross with one another when we both do exactly the same thing. It's
Yeah,
just bullshit.
I get you. It seems like it's all bullshit because the government right now is going after, of all people, the SPLC, and then the SPLC is, probably. I mean, it's a nonprofit, right? It's probably they've got ties with government, and probably a lot of government officials work at the SPLC. So sure. And what's the SPLC going up against? The Klan and those types of organizations that are also government organized. So yeah, I mean.
But
Sure.
does it not also, there is a side point where it's like, if you can't find Klan members, you could always just pay people to be Klan members, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, I think that happens a lot. I think that happens with. You remember Jesse Waters had the Antifa person on the air, and then a few months before he had the he had some agent on the air, and they both had masks on, but their eyes were identical. It's like it's clearly the same guy, and they have these people on to be like, I was Antifa, I was recruited at a very young age, and they threatened me, and they made me do things I didn't want to do, and it's just like, all right, yeah, it's funny that they always find these guys. They need a CIA agent, they need a Klansman.
Yeah, it's like, I just want the money. Like, I'm only mad because I wasn't getting paid to be a Klan member. I was doing it for free, and now I'm mad. I want the fucking money, Sky. I want my money. That's why I'm actually mad.
I'm tired. I'm sick and tired of doing protests and activism without getting paid. God damn it.
Yeah. Why do we do this for free? Man, that's crazy. I didn't know that there were money checks to be had at the end of this.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Where's my payday? By the way, what do you think about the CIA getting found dead in a car, and they got in a car accident, and it's a bunch of CIA guys?
That's pretty cool. Hell yeah. I like that. That should happen more often.
That's like walking down the side of a river, kicking your feet in the water, and out jumps a 20-pound bass.
Right. That's like early Christmas.
Yeah. Like, what the hell? What are you doing here? You're just going out and what the hell are they doing in Mexico? Were they fomenting revolution, trying to get another coup going?
So I don't even think they know what they're doing. They probably just do, like, you have like a dartboard for their agenda for the week. Then they just throw one and like, all right, that's what we're doing this week.
I guess so, man. I think it's crazy to think that there's like, I know that there's people going, well, there's CIA everywhere and da-da-da-da. But it's like, yeah, but a car full of CIA guys in Mexico randomly getting in a car accident, and they find a bunch of dead CIAs. Bunch of dead
everywhere.
Spooks. A bunch of dead spooks.
I remember a couple of years back when UKIP was doing its little thing in the for Brexit, right? There was MI5 or something like it, MI6, whatever their CIA version is in England. Where they had people that they had put in the admissions office of UKIP, and how they figured it out was one of the people that worked with them recognized them when they went into the office. So it's everywhere, dude. We're cooked. We're done. There's just no shower.
Yeah, that's why, man. I guess, yeah, it makes you want to go someplace far away and be a hermit.
Yeah.
To just live outside of I guess that's the thing. I just want to, like, I've been talking about moving, leaving, and all that, and part of me just wants to be like in a place where I don't need to worry about as much stuff, like I don't have to worry about people coming and taking what I got. Because when you owe people like I do now, I'm always worried about someone taking away everything that I have. Isn't that fucking crazy? When I had nothing and I was living easy, living for nothing, living on the beach in an apartment with barely any belongings, life was good and I wasn't afraid of anybody.
It's the way to go, baby. It's time to lay flat, Sky.
I was running on the beach every day. I was feeling good. I was looking good. And now I have more, and the more you get, what was that line from Fight Club? The more you own things, the more your things own you. The one, you are on the air on Skyline.
Howdy, howdy.
Howdy, howdy. Have you found any dead CIA agents lately?
I have not. I wouldn't know it.
They're all over the place, apparently.
I was thinking about something last night. I want to talk to you about it.
Bring it on.
You go pretty hard on maggers,
I do.
and I mean it's 2/3 of the show. It seems like, and one of the things that Fred Hampton did is he kind of reached out to all the poor people, white or black, KKK, Confederate.
He did. He did not reach out to the KKK.
Well, you know what I'm saying. The people who are kind of aligned with the same, they had the same views. But you know what I'm saying.
He reached out to the white, poor people of Chicago.
I know he spoke somewhere and he had a Confederate flag with in the room or on the people he was with, or something like that.
Yeah, he definitely was in, it was called the Young Patriots organization, a group of poor young white migrants from Appalachia living in Chicago's uptown neighborhood. So there were people that were kind of the diaspora from, the South. And that makes sense, right? The Southeast, people didn't have any money. A bunch of Okies come over to Chicago. And they were poor. I think that's what Fred Hampton's magic was, is that he talked to people based around class solidarity versus race solidarity.
Right, that's what I'm wondering if you should do more of. Instead of like,
dude.
I know you do it some, but like I said, you go pretty hard on maggers. So, I'm wondering if you just call out the bull crap instead of putting down the people who support the bull crap.
Yeah,
that's their tribe. That's why they kind of support it. But if you're able to pull the veil off and just say, hey, we're all in it together, both sides, it's a class struggle.
I get what you're saying, and I do try. It's just that oftentimes maggers will get into my chat and personally attack me, or personally talk, or they'll just drop shit that's like, Donald Trump best ever, everyone else is gay, or they'll say something like that, right? And it's like, we need to be calling that stuff out too, and showing, okay, this person's in a cult. We need to get people to get out of that cult. And I say, you're in a cult. You've been had. You need to wake up. Like, how else am I supposed to, like, you say I go hard on them, and I do, because I need them to wake up and realize that they're in a cult. I need them to wake up and realize that I'm not pro-Biden because I'm anti-Trump. I'm anti-billionaire. I'm anti-lazy class. I'm anti-exploitation. I'm total liberation. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean. I think, as soon as you insult someone, they kind of turn their ears off to everything else you say, though, So
yeah,
you might be saying all the right stuff, but then as soon as you insult them, they might be like, oh, this guy's an idiot. Like, I'm not going to listen.
Maybe, we get into this a lot with any kind of activism, like, oh, if you insult people, they get turned off. Maybe. But I'll tell you what else, though. Shame does work. Like when women who wear fur coats, if they get accosted every time they go out and people call them pieces of shit for wearing fur coats, they're not going to wear fur coats anymore. They're not, they don't want to deal with the stress. They're not going to wear it because they think, there will be some.
Yeah, but they're not surrounded by other people who wear fur coats who go, no, you're doing the right thing. You should wear the fur coat, blah, blah, blah. It's kind of.
And there will be some that turn off their ears and just go like, well, fuck you. I like doing it. And sure, but a lot of them just won't do it anymore.
Yeah.
They just like, they do have friends that wear fur coats, and none of them are wearing fur coats anymore because they don't like being told that they're pieces of shit every day, like I don't know how we strike that balance. If I go too hard on them, it's usually they come asking for it. I think they almost kind of get off on the ridicule, to be honest. Why else come to my stream, But I guess I would love to be more, but I also don't want to come off as some like liberal fucking like, oh, well, all views are welcome. Let's all hear out the Nazis one more time, because I'm not interested in hearing a point of view that is fascist. And a
At
lot of these
what
guys
point are
are
you going to
fascist.
realize the people you're calling Nazis are not fucking Nazis, dude? God damn. You've been spun and played.
Many of them are Nazis. They just don't like the word. The guys, people talking about how great concentration camps and how Jews and are this and that. How many people have I had on even when I first started this call-in show, people would call in saying stuff like that. You tell me those people aren't Nazis?
I think the problem is that they just don't know who to blame, and it's easy to blame, the little guy, the people, that are easily targeted.
Yeah, but that's what
And
fascists do, man. That's a fascist thing. They use scapegoats to unite their base in order to, convince them that their way is the only true and holy way, and that they promise a golden age as soon as we get rid of those people we've scapegoated. That's fascism.
yeah, I think if you spend more time just kicking the crap out of billionaires on your show and less about the people who reluctantly vote for them because there's only two options.
Yeah,
You
I
know?
mean, I do say that though. I do say that it's not about who you voted for; it's who you support on April 23rd, 2026. Right? I don't really care if you voted for Donald Trump on November 5th, 2025. I don't. A lot of people voted for him. If I just hate everyone who ever voted for him, I don't think that's fair. People voted for him for different reasons. People also got tricked. People also felt a certain way in November to 2025 that they don't feel like today. But the people who are still supporting him in April 2026, or I'm sorry, November 2024 versus April 2026, if you're still like getting in people's chats and going like, he's the greatest and I love him, like you're in a cult. How can I hold back? How can I mollycoddle them in order to make how I can't give them a spoonful of sugar to help that medicine go down.
Look, you still don't get it. It's not that they love Trump, it's that they hate you. How is this so hard to understand? It is you that is the problem.
Me, that's
Leftism,
the problem.
leftoids. Yeah, your reaction to every time they want to say something that they feel, you just be like, well, don't say that, racist. You're
No,
literally like,
when have I ever done that? What have I ever? Don't say that, racist. No, but if you're gonna be in a fucking cult and you're not gonna, I need to shake you awake. You need to tell people they're in a cult so they stop drinking the Kool-Aid.
Yeah,
And they
but
don't.
what I've come to realize is these social issues, they're not the most important thing. They're diversions away from the class issue.
Yes,
So
but dude, yes, I totally agree. I totally agree with you. But I'm not even talking about the social issues. You're saying I go after maggers, but the maggers are the ones who are supporting a guy who is clearly overreaching in a way that is.
well, what? Okay, look, yes, you are correct. Okay, yes, perfect. Now follow it to the train of logic that I just laid out for you. And the why is because are you their brother? No, sir, you are not.
No,
You are
Donald Trump
not.
is their brother. I'm more their brother than Donald Trump is. Absolutely.
that's true.
100%.
Yeah.
Donald Trump is not their fucking brother. They've been bamboozled, Steve. That's the whole problem. They need to start looking at their neighbors like
Anyone who
brothers.
does a crypto rug pull, not once, but who knows how many times.
Multiple times. Now he owns the exchange.
Yeah, I mean he doesn't care about anybody. He cares about himself and his family, and that's it. So
He cares about himself, yeah, and his Trump name. I think the only reason he cares about his family is because they're branded.
yeah.
Because they'll carry his brand into the future. That's all he's ever cared about is the Trump brand. So it's like, I get what you're saying, Steve. Well, they hate me because I'm a leftoid, which is so fucking exactly. Am I the one who says shit like leftoids? And I mean, I'm against capitalism. I make it really clear that I'm independent. I'm an anarchist. I don't like Biden or Trump. But these guys that are in the cult, if you went to Jim Jones, Jamestown, the Jamestown massacre, and you were like slapping Kool-Aid out of fuckers' mouths, well, why aren't you going more softly on them? Because they're drinking Kool-Aid, dude. They're about to kill their own kids. Hundreds of people are about to die. And that's what I'm talking. That's what we're up against. Thousands of people are dying in Iran. Thousands of people are dying in Lebanon. Hundreds of thousands have already been killed in Gaza.
Yeah,
And
but
yet-
they're already convinced that they want to drink it. So you're just a jerk for slapping it out of their
Yeah,
hands.
I guess that'll be my legacy. I'm a jerk for slapping the
But
hands.
if you convince them, if you show them all the ways that the Kool-Aid isn't good for them, then eventually they might change. You know, it's
Well, that's
not
why I go live
guaranteed.
every day, right? That's why I do outreach. That's why I
Yeah, but I don't think insulting. I don't think the level of insulting.
Yeah,
you
like
do-
we're not going to undo hate with more hate, you fucking cunt. It's just not going to happen. I want to hate you, but I know it's not going to get us
Quote,
anywhere.
you fucking cunt.
I'm hateful, huh? How? Give me an example of something of where I went too far with the maggers.
You know, I don't
I
have
was-
an example off the top of my head.
Give me an
Sorry.
example where I was so hateful and so mean.
I mean, you have emoticons that specifically have them licking boots and crying and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So.
I mean, sure. If you're wearing that hat, I think you're a fucking pedophile. Like, what do you want? I mean,
Exactly. You're calling everyone who wears the hat a pedophile.
if you're wearing the hat in April 2026, you might be a pedophile.
Well, they think the left set Trump up with all those files. They're
That's what I mean. They think the Kool-Aid's gonna bring them to the spaceship. You know what I mean? Like, it's really difficult when we're dealing with people who are believing shit that they don't believe their own eyes anymore. They see video and photographs with Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein together, and they're like, it doesn't look like anything to me. Doesn't look like anything to me.
Oh, yeah, well,
I mean, the
leftoids
government's
are
been
just as
lying for over
easily.
100 years. So
What's that? Sorry. What was that? The one? What'd you
Leftoids
say?
are just as easy to herd and to do destructive shit. So we're gonna have to get rid of the leftoids and rightoids, or find a way to co-opt them or subvert their fucking will to our own, like, you know, just party or whatever. I don't know how we're gonna use their energy, but the government knows how to.
Well,
So-
I guess like liberals and them, you know, I've never been a fan of pro-capitalist liberal fucks who are just as easily susceptible and swept up in Nazi bullshit. I never liked them either, but they're not in power right now. Like, I don't know. It's so funny that when the liberals are in charge or the Democrats have power, I talk all this shit about them, and no one's ever like, oh, you're too mean. But as soon as I say something about the right, it's like, you know, you got to be nicer to them or else they'll never come around. They're not coming around, guys. They're not coming around. The fucking Nazis are not coming around because I was nice. You think, I mean, didn't Chamberlain try that? Give Hitler what he wants for now. Because if you do, he'll just stop. He'll stop at the Sudetenland. People thought that Donald Trump was going to stop at Venezuela. He ain't stopping. They thought it was just fun. It was just fun. Oh, that's just Trump being Trump. Fun stuff when he was talking about conquering Greenland and going to war with Denmark, or turning Canada into a 51st state. It's all just jokes. Isn't that like? And I'm the crazy one.
I think if you just put more emphasis, lots of times you have to repeat over and over again. I'm an independent. I don't like the Democrats just as much as I don't like the Republicans. I think if you were constantly bashing both sides, I know the Republicans are the ones in power, but if every single time you're like pointing out it's all the billionaire class that's making these things happen and pointing to that.
It's always like, I don't know how to put words to it. Like saying the Republicans are in power when we both know they're the exact same fucking thing. That doesn't really mean anything. That's why it always it just doesn't like click in my brain. I can't verbulate why that's wrong, but I like saying the Democrats are not in power is like, that's what do you mean? I just don't get it. Sorry.
Democrats have no sway. They're not making decisions right now.
I think I saw this.
It's really hard to criticize their decisions when they're not making any decisions right now. They're not
Okay,
even
but like
making
the shit
news.
they want
And
to have
hold on,
happen is happening.
Today I talk so much shit on hockey. I'm like, man, do I not talk? Today I was talking shit about Hakeem Jeffries. Hakeem Jeffries was in the news. I said, this guy is so lackluster and boring. He's like one of the worst leaders in politics. He talks so slow. I got to put him on 2-speed because he's so boring. Like, I said all these horrible things about Hakeem Jeffries, who, congressional minority leader. I mean, I do that. Yeah, Lateral Alice is saying he does that for fuck's sake. It's so funny. I talk shit on PETA. People that say the same thing. You're so mean to meat eaters. And I'm like, dude, I talk shit about PETA all the time. I literally talked shit about PETA this hour. And people are still like, you're so mean to people who decide to exploit animals. Yeah. But I'm also mean to DXC and Wayne Shung and Ingrid Newkirk and PETA. It's really hard. Smoking Blondie says they aren't smart enough to understand where Sky stands on it's not my fault. I mean, it is my fault, like, because I have to control the perception of me, but I'm reacting. The Morning Sky show is a reaction to the news, and I do the call-in show for exactly what we're talking about right now, guys. That's why I do 2 shows. Like, how much
but
more
ultimately
can I do?
you agree with the direction. Like, you want the Democrats to go more hard into like the weeds of leftism and communism and race communism. You ultimately agree with all of that trash. That's why
Race communism. Where do you get this shit?
you love race communism. You love it.
Race communism? I don't know what that is.
It's communism, but for the races.
It's communism
I would say
for the races.
Does Ding Dang agree that the billionaires are the problem?
Well, yeah, I mean, clearly they are, but they also do things with stupid people or incentives. That is like, they use humans to do their shit. So,
Sure, yeah, they
the
do.
master and the tools are both the problem, man.
Okay, but listen, I don't know where you get Democrat race communism, but no, I don't like the Democrats because, again, they worship at the same altar as the Republicans. They are just Coke and Diet Coke, guys. That's like saying, oh, you like Diet Coke slightly more than Coke because it'll make you less fat. I guess, maybe. I try not to drink either. I try not to drink either of them. When I go to the movie theater, I get Pepsi Zero Sugar, though, even though just because I think it tastes good with popcorn. But that's literally the only time I drink it. I never drink it. I don't have it at the house. You know what I mean? I don't bring it home. So I don't really subscribe to Democrat or Republican. Never.
Well, how is Fred Hampton getting this growing coalition of both poor white conservative and poor white liberals in the same? How was he doing that? What was he saying to both sides to make them come together and agree that they're the lower class and they need to fight together? Kind of thing.
It was a little bit. I mean, it was a little bit more interesting back then because the cops were beating the shit out of the poor whites too. If you were an Appalachian living in Chicago, the Chicago PD and the FBI were beating the shit out of you as well. And so he went to them and he said, like, we've got a common enemy. I mean, you know that you hate them more than you hate us, right? And they're like, yeah, we do. And he's like, all right, well, let's like have meetings and shit. we'll appear together, let's get together. And it wasn't just the whites, it was the Puerto Ricans too. He went to the Puerto Ricans. There were a lot of militant groups at that point that he could reach out to. Plus they had guns, they would have meetings, and there were gangs that he reached out to, organized crime, that he tried to form coalitions with. He did form coalitions with. And he made an impact. And what did he do with them is the thing. They got together and they started free lunches and free breakfasts. He just had the free Black Panther free food program. And they would build these community events where they would have basically giant charity festivals where they're all poor people, white, black, Hispanic. They call it the Rainbow Coalition is what he called it. It wasn't a gay thing, Steve, don't worry. And they got together and they gave people free food and stuff. And they even had like childcare stuff that they would do together. And it was working. And the government really didn't like that. And they called him, J. Edgar Hoover and them called those guys super dangerous. And they killed him. They killed Fred Hampton in his sleep for all that. Like, they had an info. It's funny because what Steve and I were talking about a couple seconds ago. The FBI had an informant that worked as security for Fred Hampton, and they slipped him a Mickey, and he was asleep, and then the FBI came into the house with the Chicago PD, and escorted everybody out, and he slept through all of it, and then they shot him while he was there sleeping there. It's a great movie about it called Judas and the Black Messiah. I highly recommend it.
That's pretty dope. Yeah. Whenever you describe that shit the government does, man, they really are just savages. They're fucking alphas for real.
Yeah, I mean, check this out.
They will just fuck your shit up.
The informant, they had interviews with him, and this documentarian made interviews with the informant, who slipped in the Mickey, and they did a documentary. And then it was like, I don't know, it was like 20 years after the death of Fred Hampton, maybe even longer, 25 years after the death of Fred Hampton. And he's like, at least I picked a side during the 60s when all that shit was going on. And, I did what I had to do and all these. He's defending himself. And then the documentary came out, and the guy, the informant, killed himself the day it came out.
Nice. Yeah, that's the right thing to do. Like, whenever you do that type of shit, that's the right option. Just go ahead and catch up.
He really fulfilled the whole Judas. He was very much the Judas,
Yeah.
Paris Kitty wants us to talk about Christian nationalism, but Christian nationalism is just a tool of the billionaire class to get what they want, basically. They're just using it as a tool.
Yeah, but Christian nationalism is what I mean. What do you want to know about Christian? What do you ask these guys about Christian nationalism? I mean, Christian nationalism it's not Christian. It's just nationalism. They're using Christianity as a weapon, is what it is. I mean, I don't know what you mean by Christianity.
I don't even know how that works.
Huh? What's that?
I don't even know how that would work. Like all it does is just make you really angry at people that don't share your religion. Like, you're not going to get rid of them at all. The corporations don't want them out. So it's just you being angry. It's pointless.
I'm not angry about Christianity. I'm angry about people using Christ as a weapon, because that's not the Christ that I grew up with, I suppose.
No, I'm saying Christian nationalism is just to make. Sorry, bro. My bad.
Go ahead.
Oh, no. I didn't mean to step on your toes. I didn't. Yeah, I'm getting weird audio things. I'm sorry, Ross.
I think he's saying that they're going to be there. They're going to be who they are regardless. So no sense getting mad at it.
I think it's funny that white Christian nationalists, for the last 10 years have been saying, the last 50 years have been saying that that theologians and religious people should be involved in politics, and that religion should be involved in politics. And the second the Pope said anything about being merciful, or the second that Episcopalian bishop said anything about mercy or compassion, they're like, shut up, religious people, stay out of politics. I love that shit. That's one of my favorite things that's been happening. Religious people saying that okay, so now you're on here.
I mean, that's what I think. I think that's what you should bring up. Just bring up how much they're hypocrites all the time. I mean, you don't have to call them dumb. You just have to call them hypocrites, because just point out exactly that they're doing the opposite of what they said 1 year ago. I mean,
I'll tell you what, next week I will try to clock, at least. I'll try to be aware of when I am being overly brutal to the maggers, but I can't not call them cultists.
I wouldn't use that word either. That, you're it's a label that people don't want to hear.
Yeah, but they don't want to hear it. But anything else is euphemism. Anything else is lying.
Well, I would just say they're
dishonesty.
I would just say, your tribe believed this a year ago, and now they're saying this. How does that make sense?
I do that, but then they're like, don't mean nothing to me. I don't care. Iran, we have to go to Iran. They're rejoicing in Iran. Everyone's happy in Iran. They're dancing in the streets in Iran. Everyone's happy we're in Iran. That's what they'll say. That's what they always say. So it's like, I get what you're saying, dude, but like, I don't know you enough to know if you've ever done any kind of activism, but this is what they always say to activists. Why can't you just be nicer? And it's like, because when we ask Louis Vuitton to stop skinning animals alive, they
Yeah,
tell
but
us
you're
to go
not asking
fuck
the
ourselves.
masters. You're asking the people. You're talking to the people at the bottom, not the people at the top.
I'm talking to people at the bottom, not people on the top. That's fair. But a lot of times when you ask people at the bottom to say, hey, stop beating your wife, stop beating your kids, stop drinking and driving, stop fucking your cousin, they tell you to go die. And you got to get
No,
strong with these people.
because they don't want to be
listen.
told what to do, but you have to point out, like, hey, would you want somebody else to do this to you? Like,
They don't care. They don't care. This is why people.
I think that sometimes people just don't think about it.
That's true too. Yes, that's true. Or they just had. Yeah, it's
So
never
if you
crossed their
give
mind.
them an opportunity to think instead of just saying you're wrong, then
Yeah. I don't know. Are you one of the vegans that watch the channel?
yeah,
Yeah. Okay. So have you ever done any vegan activism?
no.
Because when you go out there, you'll find that you're right. You're right. There's lots of people that just never even crossed their mind, dude. They never thought about it. Never even seen about it. Never heard about it. Never even thought about like where an egg comes from, for example. It's just an egg. Why would I think about it at all? I buy it at the store. I crack it in my pan. That's as far as I know. That's as far as I thought about it. And the second you tell them about it, some people are like, holy shit, I didn't know about that. Most people are like, damn. I don't care. Because most people, we have to come to the realization that most people in America, and maybe around the world, but most people in America are perfectly okay with most forms of slavery, are perfectly okay with women being second-class citizens, blacks being second-class citizens, are perfectly okay with a for-profit prison system, are perfectly okay with predatory lenders fleecing us, perfectly okay with corporations owning everything. They're perfectly okay with this.
I don't think so. I mean, I think if you talk to Ding Dang Do, he would say he's not for any of that stuff. But he also might just shrug his shoulder and say, well, what am I going to do? It exists. But I don't think he'd be for it, right? So if you give them an opportunity to think and maybe giving them an opportunity to take some action against it, and saying, if voting for Kamala or Trump, you're supporting these things. I don't know.
You might be right. They're maybe not supporting it, but they are complacent and complicit. When I say they're okay with it, they're accepting of it. Ding Dang Do, I think, first of all, I think he's waking up to a lot of these things. I don't think probably in the last 5-10 years, he probably just woke up to a lot of this shit. But a lot of the people that are just living their lives, they don't have the time to think about it. They don't want to think about it, and they don't give a shit. Most people are okay with rape, or else we wouldn't have rape culture. They're okay with it. It's a thing that happens, and they're all right with it. They don't care. I mean, women know this. Women know that most men don't give a shit that they have to go through whatever. And it's something that I wish more, especially activists, would come to terms with, because they think that what they're going to do is stand on a corner. And I've done the AV cubes where you stand with the video. You stand holding the TV, and the people walk by and they see the horrific stuff, and they talk to activists. I've done that so many times, and there are people who stop and are like, oh my God. But most people, it's just white noise. They don't care. And when they do, they go, oh, that's crazy. Oh, well, I'm going to go eat at the restaurant. Maybe I'll eat a salad today, but tomorrow I'm going back to McDonald's. They don't care.
I think that you're a leftoid because you just mentioned rape culture, and then and with the same fucking breath, you'll sit there and say how wonderful it is to have Afghani nationals who have a literal rape culture imported into our country en masse.
En masse. How'd they get here en masse?
our culture en masse, our cultures, our shared unity as white people. Yeah, that is a rape culture, my friend.
Well,
I can point to
Afghanistan, I think you're
many
talking about.
examples of rape gangs and grooming gangs, like things like that. You say that multiculturalism is a benefit, but when it comes to women being raped, you will shut your fucking mouth and you won't say a single word because the person doing the raping is a class of citizen that you like more than the one that got raped.
What an interesting point of view. So, multiculturalism, we went to Afghanistan and we stayed there for 20 years. Our culture blended with theirs. We started demanding as Americans, as occupiers of that country, that the Taliban wasn't allowed to operate. And in fact, we were going to demand that women have equal access to education. An entire generation of women grew up in Afghanistan, went to college, got degrees, were able to study and read books for the first time. Their IQs shot up. It was remarkable because they had education and access to nutrition. Multiculturalism did Afghanistan really good for about 20 years. And then what happened? The rape cultures, the rape squads and stuff were almost non-existent for almost 20 years. That's multiculturalism for you. We blended. They didn't stop being Muslim. They didn't stop being fundamentalist Muslim. They didn't stop a lot of the stuff that made Afghan culture. They just blended with other ideas, and women got education and shit. They were allowed to go to parks. They were allowed to show their faces. They didn't have to walk around in bed
Oh, go
sheets.
figure that it would be a really big benefit for the women to be here, but not so much for our women versus their men when they see white women as trash whores to be raped.
I don't know. I have not heard of roving. Most women who are raped by people that they know, overwhelmingly, not by random
Wow.
people
Wow.
from
Okay,
Afghanistan.
so did you watch the Vivek Ramaswamy video that I shared with you? I paid you to watch. Did you watch that yet?
Yeah, yeah.
All right. So, motherfucker.
But Vivek Ramaswamy is talking about. First of all, Vivek Ramaswamy is a politician, a billionaire politician, who says shit in order to rally up his base and get
Did
white
you
people to vote for him.
did you catch the part where his mother was not 8 months pregnant when she came here and popped him out and just left him?
Yeah, I mean,
You like that?
I just don't.
Yeah, but this guy's pro Donald Trump. So what are you saying?
He's pro Elon Musk. He's pro Donald Trump. I don't know what to
Yeah.
make of Vivek Ramaswamy half the time. Sometimes he says he's vegan. Sometimes he says he loves eating animals. Like, the guy has talked out of both sides of his mouth. I remember when all these vegans were telling me I should support Vivek Ramaswamy because he's vegan, and then you hear him talking about how he loves eating animals. So it's like, I don't trust anything I don't trust anything he says at all.
Well, I'm going to make a prediction here. You were either going to, at some point, join the far right, or you were going to maintain your delusions and forever be a leftoid.
What
Because you
exactly is
cannot.
what exactly is the delusion that's he's having?
Yeah, what is my
All right.
delusion
What is
that I
the
suffer from?
response when you see a gang of 2 or 3 Afghan men grab a 15-year-old white girl, drag her into the bushes, and rape her? What is the first thing that comes to your mind if you see this happen?
That's
Is it ring the
horrible.
cops?
That's
Is
a
it
horrible
fight?
thing that happened. That's a horrible thing that happened.
Stop
All right,
them.
now.
Yeah,
Now,
stop
what
them.
if there's a bunch of people we imported here who their first response was to just walk by multiple times? 5, 6, 7 people walk by that exact scene, as I said. And this didn't happen 20 years ago, 15. This literally happened last fucking week, bro,
We have okay.
in
So
England.
first of all,
So you want a random individual to take on 5, 6 men? Is that what you're saying?
Your duty as a fucking man is to at least ring the cops, yeah? Give them a little call.
But what are you trying
Get
to
the
say,
bodies
dude?
out there.
What is your point? So you're saying there is this thing called the bystander syndrome. It's happened a few times. It seems to be sort of a myth, because what happens actually is those people that walk by and don't do anything, they call 911 and they expect someone else to handle it, is usually what's happening. Like, there's famous cases where there was a bunch of people in an apartment building and someone was getting raped outside and beaten almost to death, and nobody did anything. But it turns out actually a bunch of people were doing something. They were all calling the cops. They just weren't getting physically involved, because
But
that seems to be the culture in America now.
my
You're talking
question
about
is-
Lovely.
England.
That seems to be
question is-
the culture in America. Lovely. Okay, well, these people are so very
Well-
different. They are so foreign from you. Their way of
No,
thinking.
What
you
if
do
they're
not
the
understand
exact
them.
same? What if they're the exact same people as you? Same color, same height, same weight, same hair color, and they're doing the same thing. What are you trying to say? Like, I don't even get it. What's your
What do
point?
you? Of course. What do you like? If I see a girl being raped, I'm going to go stop that immediately.
What
be
if
killed trying
what
to
if
stop
six-
it? What do you mean?
What if 6 or 7 people walked by and did nothing? What would you say? What was your comment then?
I would have words for them as well. I mean, they're obviously incredibly morally deficient,
But
right?
how
That's
do you, but
my
how do you
opinion.
blame this? How do you blame this on Afghanistan?
Because those
How
are
is
the
that
people that watched this happen. It is in the story, my friend. This
But
is
so
what
many people-
unfolded.
But we've had this happen. Stuff like that has happened all the time. Not all the time, but it has happened. There are flashpoint cases
Keeps happening
where this
more and more,
happens,
though.
where
Keep bringing
people
in more
walk
brown
by.
people.
I remember when I lived in Japan, there was a big story about how there was a guy who just died on the road and everyone just walked by him for like
Yeah.
3 days. He had been dead for 3 days and everyone just walked by him and nobody did anything. There's stories about people getting hurt on subway cars all around America and nobody does anything. And you hear these stories and they become almost urban legends and the urban legend component is usually somebody is actually doing something, but then the government lets us down. Like in the case of the Japanese guy, somebody did call and report the guy, and then the cops are like, "Oh, there's just some drunk sleeping there. We're not going to do anything about it." So they didn't do anything. And the guys, or the case of the person who got raped on the subway, people did do something. They did what they were trained to do, which is call the cops. That's what people are trained to do. That's not Afghanistan's problem. That's a cultural problem. We need. It used to, like, I talk about this all the time, dude. When I was a kid and I went out to, like, and if I fucked around, some adult might be like, "Hey, kid, stop fucking around over here." But today, I think adults would be like, "Don't. I'm not talking to that kid. Just ignore it. It'll go away." People do that now. They just ignore what's happening.
Oh,
Ding, ding.
shut up.
Ding ding!
Like,
I have a
we-
scenario for you.
Okay, go ahead.
Pretend there's this white pedophile. He's been arrested, and he has an email chain we found, and some guy's name's in it like 35,000 times, and
Sure.
mentioning all the bad things this guy's done. But nothing's being done to this guy.
Yeah,
Nothing's
I
being
would
done.
assume that person is very powerful or rich.
Okay, so we shouldn't do something about that? Is that what you're saying? Or we should?
But what can we do about that? If they're very powerful or rich, by definition, they're above
Wait,
reproach
all
from the
these
average
people-
man. Yeah.
So all these people are standing around in this case, and it's okay because he's rich and powerful?
That's what's crazy to me.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like we have a culture of we have Donald Trump, who's a rapist in the White House, and we allow it to happen, and that's our culture, man. We have rape culture. Like we have a
Okay.
rapist as a president, and then you're
I
like,
think it's
Well,
so
I
funny.
mean, all I can say is that I hope that it happens to you. I hope that this is the only way you're going to finally see is when you are the victim of it. Then so
Victim of what,
fucking be
rape?
it. Yeah, you're gonna have to get Afghan. Someone's who's gonna have to touch your little wee wee.
you
And he's
think
gonna
I
be the
haven't been?
wrong
You wait.
color.
I live in America. I've been touched by rape victims. I know lots of people who have been raped throughout my life. I've had people that I loved who were raped. I know people, friends who were raped. I have lots of people in my life who were raped. I am very keen on bringing rapists to justice, and there's one in the White House. And you call me a leftoid because I'm not talking about Afghanistan rapists.
Don't have a daughter. What possible? Like, oh, you got empathy. Yeah, you got a lot of fucking empathy. You don't have a daughter, but I don't either. But here again, I think I might have a little bit more fucking empathy for you, than you rather, when I can see what had happened to this 15-year-old girl last week, and it makes me want to flog the people that.
Of course,
didn't
me
help
too.
her.
I when you said what's your reaction, my first thought was murder. Of course, if I saw it happening, I would want to kill all those guys. Now,
Yeah,
after the fact, but
that is the correct response.
your thinking is
But
blame
wait,
Afghanistan.
but wait, Sky, they're rich, so you just shrug your shoulders, right?
Oh, if they're rich, then they get to do it, right?
Yeah.
Obviously not. That's so stupid. What? Shut
That's what we're doing. We allow Epstein. We allow the Epstein class to get away
You
with
just
it.
said it, dude. You just said it.
Fucking Swalwell was salt of the earth
And
a
now he's
week
out.
ago, and now he's a fucking toxic guy. Okay, what do we do? They all do this shit.
He's
All we
out,
can
and he's
do
and
is
because,
rid of
because
all of them.
at least he's getting outed.
Okay.
He's been
Yeah.
ousted, and he's probably going to face charges.
At least he didn't continue to run.
Yeah, that's true too. He did back out. He wasn't in the debate last week or yesterday,
and
whenever.
instead, Trump found civilly liable for sexual assault, and he still has people's support. He's a fucking rapist. You're
But that's
on
the
here
thing.
making jokes. You're on here talking about Afghan. He says, we have him in the White House.
Okay, well, we'll get rid of that one. And then what about the other
No,
ones?
but that should
No.
be the priority. It should
That
be
is-
at the top, not at the
The
bottom.
one woman rape versus the 60,000. The rape rate used to be like 8,000
No, we're
30
talking
years
about-
ago
we're
in,
talking about
England.
Rape.
And now it's 60,000. I wonder what happened over those 30 years. Could it have been the importation of foreign cultures that have
No.
absolutely nothing in common? Yeah,
I
it's just
wonder-
men out here
reporting.
raping more.
It's the
What happened with
reporting.
30?
It's the
What happened with
reporting.
30?
It's the
What-
reporting.
It is
What
the
about
reporting.
the 30-year friendship with Epstein? What about that?
Look,
Drew?
I think Smoking Blondie's right. She's bringing up a good point. Rape was way underreported 30 years ago. Rape inside of a marriage wasn't
Was
a thing
legal.
30 years ago. It was legal 30 years ago.
In 20, what was it?
It's
I could
hilarious.
I could rape my wife in
It's hilarious.
1990.
Yeah, you
Fucking
could rape your
great.
wife. You
Great
could-
I
argument.
think it was 1980s, but yeah, it's
yeah,
close.
okay, 30, 40 years ago, whatever. In rape within a wedding, within a marriage was legal 30, 40 years ago in England and here. I mean, we're talking about English law now because you brought up this English case, but I tend to not, because I don't know as much about what happens in England. I lived there in 2001, so 2001 or 2. So I mean, I haven't been to England in over 20 years, okay? I don't know that much about the current events in England. I run a show about American politics. I don't know, but you're right that their culture is as similar to ours as possible, and they report now more rapes. More rapes are reported, and you say Afghanistan's to blame and multiculturalism is to blame. That's just wild because America's always been more diverse than other cultures, and we don't have those, like, we rape each other more than the English. That's just not the thing.
Oh, okay.
If
Well,
anything-
I mean, it just keeps happening. It just keeps happening. Okay.
Probably-
All right.
Probably 'cause we
All right.
got one
Well,
in the
at
White
some
House,
point, I
everybody thinks it's
assume
okay.
numbers.
All right. Well, maybe if our president wasn't in the same group as those guys, maybe
Oh, I mean,
something
okay.
would change.
What did
Yeah.
you say, Smoking Blondie?
I said maybe if the top of the food chain, the most powerful man in the world, wasn't a rapist, we wouldn't have as many people raping.
He's our second openly rapist president.
Super rapey. He's super rapey.
I mean, he got elected after that
I know.
Access Hollywood
I know.
Hollywood thing, where he's literally talking about assaulting women.
I know.
Or
And
dating
here's
a
but this-
dating a
thank you,
10-year-old girl.
Wait. And, oh yeah, and the 10-year-old girl.
Yeah.
But wait, Smoking Blondie. Thank you, because you bring me full circle back to the one. How could you say that I'm too mean to
You're not.
people who are supporting a rapist
I know.
president, a pedophile, and I'm the
My-
mean one?
My
If
tongue
they're
is
not-
bleeding from biting it, listening to the accusations of you being mean to these people.
Thank you. I needed some backup. God damn it.
Because I'm going to tell you what, people who are supporting him still right now, after everything, no coddling. They're the reason we're in this fucking mess.
They
no
are the
coddling.
reason.
It doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on. Fuck that. No coddling.
No, coddling. The time for coddling is over, says Smoking Blondie. I mean, I feel like I'm pretty. I don't know. You watch my morning shows sometimes, don't you? Like, I feel like I'm really mean about the Democrats when they make
You
the
are.
news.
You get triggered in the comments by them being disrespectful and saying shit. That's how that starts.
Yeah, but should I
You should
not?
have- you should have a-
I thought
No.
my
You should
inter-
have a
Huh?
you should have a blue-hatted bootlicker too. That's what you should have.
I should. Maybe when I tell you what, when Donald Trump is out of office, I'll get Parallelis to make me a blue-hatted bootlicker. Maybe, when he's out of office, that makes sense. Although the thing is about the Democrats, they don't wear blue hats. They don't wear little weird things about their president after he's already president. They only do that during the elections. In fact, the Republicans used to do the same thing. They used to only wear that shit during the campaign, not when he was in power. That's fucking crazy.
Dude, I'd see Bush Cheney bumper stickers for the next 5 years.
Bumper stickers are one thing, but they used to have pins. They used to have election pins. People collected them, but they took them off their clothes when the election was over.
Yeah, I have one that says, I have an old one. I have a couple old election buttons from Al Gore and Clinton Gore years, the Clinton Gore years.
But the thing about the Democrats, I'm not a Democrat, is that at least they tend to be more supportive of a diverse society, and they're not stuck on insulting people first about who they are, what they are, how they live their life. And that's exactly what MAGA does. What do you do for a living? You're gay, you're transgender. They support a rapist in the White House, and they don't want to use people's proper pronouns, but now we can't call them like we see them, like a fascist.
They don't let anybody, you're not allowed to call them out, but they will say the gay Ayatollah over and over and over again. They'll say all these new scum, but if I call anyone a name, they're like, they clutch their pearls and cry. It's so funny that I'm supposed to be tiptoeing around their neuroses.
Fuck that. We've got a president who tells women of color reporters who ask questions he doesn't like, quiet piggy, or you're such a nasty woman.
Jesus, I almost forgot about that already. That's also so crazy. So much of these things are happening that I forget about quiet piggy.
I know.
I mean, I don't know. The guy calls women piggy on live TV, and I'm the mean one.
Or how about his first run when he made fun of the mentally handicapped or the person in the wheelchair? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's a fool. He is a bully.
The journalist, he was making fun of the disabled journalist.
Yeah. Trump always does that. See, this is why you're forcing me into that camp.
My favorite
you're forcing me to defend him because you're so disingenuous.
When you get called out for what you are.
My favorite is when he called prisoners of war losers.
Yes, I prefer my soldiers not caught.
Oh, he was talking about McCain when he said that, he thought McCain wasn't a hero because heroes don't get shot down. And then he called the losers and suckers the ones that were dead in in Omaha Beach, the one that were buried in Europe.
Or at Flanders, when it was raining, he wouldn't even go outside because his hair might get wet when we had Marines. Well, not back. They weren't Marines.
I don't see how he didn't kill his president. I don't see how he didn't kill it right there when he said they're all losers.
Yeah,
this is why we're all gonna kill each other. This leftoidism right here. This is why we're going to settle this.
Dude, we saw it on TV, Steve. Him wearing his stupid USA merchandise hat at the dignified transfer of
couldn't
soldiers
even take
being
his hat
killed.
off.
No, I'm not going to defend Trump. It just makes me say, but I don't like lying. That's the whole thing I get at. Is I don't like the lying. Don't lie, Sky. It's bad for your soul.
It's on camera. There are no souls.
We're talking about, you did it twice today, actually. You just said he was mocking that journalist. He makes that hand movement all the time during that.
He went like this. He did like he made a joke about.
No. He does that. That's something he did multiple times. There's no way you could sit there and say that he was mocking the disabled journalist.
He was.
Bullshit. Okay.
Okay. How about this? How about this?
And then you wanted to say that he said that there's very fine people on both sides of the Charlottesville.
Hold on.
And he immediately after that he said, not talking about the fucking neo-Nazis. And you
people on both sides.
Left that shit out. So
both sides.
Like, I'm a Trump lover now because I demand that you be truthful. Fuck out of here.
Because he spoke a retraction later after he said the both sides thing. I didn't mean it. I swear.
He literally says it 1 second after, goofball.
Wait, what
Fake-
news have you been consuming for the last 10 years?
Watch the clip. I've seen it 1,000 times. Like I haven't
All right,
sit here.
it's hard to
I'm
give.
a Trump lover now.
It's so crazy
Fuck.
that you want anybody to give the benefit of the doubt to Donald Trump on the journalist thing or any of these things when the guy he loves the Proud Boys. He pardoned the Proud Boys, and now you're
Hired
like,
them.
oh, he didn't mean both sides. He didn't like the neo-Nazis. That's a lie. Or he didn't say anything bad about that journalist, but he had Mohammed bin Salman in the Oval Office and then called the person asking a question about the dead journalist that Mohammed bin Salman ordered the death of, Khashoggi, that she was nasty for asking those questions, that a lot of people didn't like that journalist, and he kind of had it coming. The fact that the Donald Trump says shit like that in the Oval Office, I'm supposed to give him benefit of the doubt on the other thing that he did about journalism? Like, he calls journalists the fake news enemy of the state.
Check. Have some due diligence. Stop buying everything that you're shown hook, line, and sinker. Be a real boy. Be a real boy. Do your own thing.
This guy has a proven track record of just calling journalists piggy, calling journalists saying they deserve to die, calling them enemies of the state.
Yep.
But you're like, why would you lie about him making those spaz gestures about that journalist, that disabled journalist? He was actually not doing that one. What?
That he did at a rally on camera.
Yes. He totally did. Why does he deserve the benefit of the doubt at this point?
Oh my God! It's not
Just
an.
'cause
I'm
you
not
don't like
defending
it doesn't mean we're lying.
the orange demon. I am pointing at you like this is your problem. This is your character in question, not his. He's obviously a demon. This is you that I'm pointing at here. Subtext you missed again.
Don't call out the demon, Sky. Don't call out the demon.
Well, you said the same thing, the one that I'm supposed to be nice to the demons.
No, I said make them see through making them think. That's what I'm saying.
They don't think.
I'm trying hard, man. I do, but man, I do get triggered. But let me ask you this: Smoking Blondie, you're right. I do let the chat trigger me because they get these people that come in, and but I think it's also kind of entertaining to go after these morons in the chat. But I mean, what am I supposed to do? Like, that's why they come. That's why they engage. Those guys, they're looking for stuff like that. They're looking for the person who's live to go off on them. That's why they're there.
It's good for your algorithm.
That's what I figure as much. I mean, I could be wrong, but I mean, I think everyone likes to see me rip into one of these cultists in the chat anyway, you know. Heather Black says Trump is such an orange demon, though. He is an orange demon, but the thing is, like, I don't know why people always are so upset when I point it out. Like, it's such a kill the messenger vibe. It's so like do-gooder derogation. How dare you say something about him? Can't you be nicer to the
I
people?
pointed it out. It shows dishonesty on your part if you're
How
not.
is that dishonesty? The guy has said so many times negative things. Like, if I show you 10 examples of how he has totally shit on journalists, and there's at least 10, and you're like, oh, well, that one's a lie. You're a liar. What?
Yes. Why? I'll tell you why. It's because the maggers, as you define them, the rhidoids, are going to get the one example where they can find that you're not being absolutely true, and then that will be their bumper sticker that they'll throw at you, goofball. It's to defend you as well.
Do you see how fucking crazy they are to do that? You're talking about the people who defend a guy who is a compulsive liar. The guy he can't stop. I don't think Donald Trump can stop lying. And yet, because someone points out 10 examples of this guy shitting on journalists, but there's one that maybe he wasn't as bad as it seems, because he was talking about that journalist and he was going he was doing that, and you're like, well, he wasn't really.
Yeah, I've never seen Trump do that before.
See, yeah, well, I did. I saw somebody break it down. Well, either way, it doesn't matter. I don't support Trump. I would never vote for him again anyway, so it doesn't matter for me. But for someone that doesn't trust you, that will trust the media sources he gets more than he trusts you, it does not do you any favors whenever you come at that fucking example uncritically. Yeah.
I'm glad you'll never vote for Trump again. That's great.
I'm trying to find a Snopes article. Did Donald Trump knowingly mock a disabled reporter on Korok? Well, straight off, the obvious answer is yes, he did. There's no debate about that. The real question is, some people claim he uses the same style mocking for anybody.
That
So
laugh uses
so
it.
that he did. So you're saying that he did mock a disabled journalist, but he also uses that style of mocking for others. Okay, I guess, yeah, what a liar I am.
Well. For somebody that doesn't trust you, they're going to see that and think that you're not being trustworthy when you're not being charitable.
God forbid they listen to anything else Sky says.
when I'm not charitable to Trump, I'm just as bad as Trump, apparently. That's what it sounds like. It's crazy, dude. Like, I'm sorry. I try really hard to try to show both sides. I try really hard to hate on both sides. I try really hard to piss on just to show everybody that they should stop being part of this cult of Democrats and Republicans, that both doors, the red door leads to the gas chamber, the blue door leads to the gas chamber. I say that all the time. I have like memorized little things that I say about both parties, and yet I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to say it anymore. Maybe I'll get better over time, guys, or maybe when Trump's finally gone, you'll see. But right now,
I think part of the problem is that they believe anybody who is anti-Trump is a Democrat because they aren't capable of knowing there's other options.
yeah,
that could be a good thing to talk about. Like, just
I say that all the time. They think that because they're in a cult and the only other option is the Democrats, and they're a cult too. And it's like, yeah, fine. You don't have to be in either cult. Even Ding Dang Do right here, he's pretty anti-Trump at this point, and he's not a Democrat by any stretch. So I'd love to get, like, I'm not the only one. There's lots of people on the right who are starting to say that Republicans and Democrats are both poison. I'm not the only one. I just happen to be on the other side because I'm anti-capitalism. I just happen to be, the alt left. But there's tons of people on the alt right saying the same kind of shit I am, saying that the Democrats and Republicans are fucking poison.
Because they see the money seeping and they're scrambling like rats on a ship trying to figure out where they're going to go when this all burns down, when Trump's gone, how they're going to make their money grifting when they've been so hardcore in one direction. And they're already losing popularity. They're already losing money. They've had all those like Tim Pool and that other dumbass that were getting Russia money, who had already paved the way in what they pretended to believe or whatnot.
Yeah, but look at how many people that are also on that side, like those voices like Tim Pool, but people like Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, and a lot of people are starting to show the cracks. They're starting to, even Joe Rogan's starting to he appeared with Donald Trump very recently.
He texts Donald Trump.
I don't know why. I don't know why he showed up for that Trump thing when he's.
Oh, because Trump did something. The same reason that Lil Wayne people show up, because they get something out of it. They get something. But at the same time, people are actually starting on. It's becoming apparent that the emperor has no clothes. And I'm hoping that, but when you were talking about it, about how they're afraid, it's almost like when I moved out of my parents' house, I moved out super young, and I couldn't wait to leave. I couldn't wait to be my own man and live on my own and pay my own way and all that. And but there's so many people, they're in their 30s and they don't want to leave home. And I'm not to judge them, but I think a lot of them, because I know that everyone's got a different situation. I don't want to judge everybody. If you're living at home, fucking, and your family's good, keep it up. But don't be afraid. Like, don't let fear run you. I think a lot of people are just run by fear, and they don't want to leave home because they're afraid of what might happen. They're afraid of being independent. I think that's what's happening in the political spectrum. People are afraid that if I leave the Democrats, if I leave the Democrats, that means I must be a Republican. If I leave the Republicans, I must be Democrat. But Donald Trump has switched parties. Donald Trump was a Democrat. Now he's Republican. He's not actually either. These billionaires aren't Republican or Democrat.
Right.
They give money to both. They own both parties. Like, don't be ruled by fear. Think like a billionaire. You know?
What, get
Don't be-
rapey? Think rapey?
Yeah, except for the rape part. Yeah.
Fuck.
Think like a billionaire. Like, don't talk to cops. Look at what billionaires do. The cops catch up to them. They're like, plead the fifth. Fuck you. Every single time. They were talking to that Les Wexler, whatever that you know that guy, the rapist.
Yeah.
Oh, and then he starts talking, and the I love that hot mic moment where the attorney leans over to him and he says, "If you answer another question with more than 5 words, I'm going to fucking kill you." That's what his lawyer tells him. Take that advice. Don't talk to cops.
Shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up when you're talking to the law. Think like a billionaire. I
was raised by an anarchist, so we were told, shut the fuck up, put the warrant to the peephole. Don't trust anybody in authority. They all have ulterior motives, and it's not for you.
Yeah, question authority, right? Don't take what they say as gospel, and don't give them, and be high friction. Don't give your consent so easily.
Make them work for it.
Make them work for your yes. Give them a no. Yes, fucking say no to everything. Make them push you to get a yes.
Oh, I drove old Beetles when I was a teenager. Group of long-haired, hippies. We were pulled over constantly in a small town, always wanting to search us. And my dad's like, if you ever say yes, if you don't make them work, if you don't keep your foot on that clutch for hours, better not come home for a while.
Yeah, exactly. That's the way to do it. Don't come home right now. Mr. Good says we need a middle-class president. Well, we had one. His name was Jimmy Carter. They fucking crucified him.
We need a Gen Xer.
We need Gen X, yeah. But most Gen X are MAGA. When you have to make a decision that will impact your family directly, you'll make better decisions, hopefully. How about, I think you say middle-class president. We need middle-class senators. Can we start there? The senators have become a billionaire club. It's
Congress
bullshit.
people.
Congress people are like the poor man's Senate. But yeah, like most of them are rich too. Like,
yeah, they're making what, $172,000 a year?
Yeah, and then insider trading on top of that. So
yeah, of course. Of course.
They're making plenty of money, those assholes. Billionaires usually flock to the Senate, so they get 6 years. They don't have to work so hard. 6 years.
If we have got to get politicians in place to overturn Citizens United, that has got to be spoken, talked about constantly. We have to let everyone know what that means, because until money comes out of politics, we're fucked.
The billionaires are in charge.
What happened to AOC as soon as she got in? She got in. She had no money to make her transition. She had no money. And what did she do? She started making friends, and they paid her. They gave her. She found a husband who's rich and all that stuff. Like
That's not true.
That's exactly what happened. Let's go back in time. I've seen the videos. Yeah.
She's not even married. Listen.
Or whatever. Well, she's got a white husband.
You made the
or
claim.
boyfriend,
AOC
whatever.
Is engaged to her longtime partner Riley Roberts, but they're not legally married.
Very well.
Started making money as a congresswoman, just like everyone else. She takes grassroots money. Have you ever visited opensecrets.org to see where all the money's going in politics?
She does take a lot of small donations. That's true. She doesn't take those corporate donors.
All right. Well, there was nothing for her. Like she won a seat, yes, and then there should have been a very large pool of money available for her to do everything she needed to get the house, the car, the security, get everything. There should have been a lot of money up front, but there is no money. And if you don't play ball, you don't get access to all of those wonderful things she has now. So she played ball.
Take PAC money. She doesn't take PAC money.
It is really interesting that, there's a thing in when you pay your taxes, there's a thing on the W-2 and on the 1099. When you file your taxes, you can give $3 to the presidential campaign. You guys have all seen that. It took them so much work. It took so much work to get that on there, and nobody cares about it. But it's in the law that they have to have it on there. And the reason why is that if every American just gave money to that, then if you wanted to run for president, you could access that money. There's just a pool of money sitting there from taxpayers waiting to be used for presidential candidates, but no one ever touches it. It's just a big giant pool of money sitting there for doing exactly what you're talking about, Steve. Like there is a pool of money for presidents. Maybe it's not just for presidents, but
It's the presidential election campaign
yeah,
donation.
it's president. Yeah.
Like they love poor people that want to be rich, but it shouldn't be that way. There should be a large lump sum of money waiting for you. That way, you don't have to go make alliances with fucking demons just to get by in the most expensive city in our country.
Well, I
But
think
I just-
that's,
Second most, third most.
I just pointed out that what
Smoking
you were
Blondie,
claiming was incorrect.
but Smoking Blondie, you're saying, forget about that for a second. You're absolutely right about how
She just misunderstood me. I'm not incorrect.
it doesn't matter.
I'm using her own words. Yeah, that's fine.
You're talking about AOC. I mean, AOC doesn't take PAC money. She doesn't take. Her whole identity is based around that. She doesn't take PAC money. She doesn't take corporate donors.
That's not what I was saying.
Okay. Well, anyway, but Smoking Blondie brought up Citizens United. If we got rid of Citizens United, we would actually have a world where there was a pool of money, so that nobody would have to cozy up to billionaires and stuff. We would actually have money for this because the billionaires wouldn't be allowed to give money. The corporations wouldn't be allowed. There'd be no super PACs. I think it shows that the billionaires are so powerful because for 50 years we had people fighting Roe v. Wade. That decision was fought tooth and nail for 50 years, and they finally won it with the Dobbs decision. But there's no movement, no real movement to get rid of Citizens United. Everyone talks about it. Nobody's doing anything about it.
The moment Bernie mentioned it when he was running for president the last time
in the primary, yeah.
He said on day one he would, do an executive order, 2 of them, to raise minimum wage and to overturn Citizens United. And they cut his throat. They made sure Democrats, they made sure he went no farther.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Good Citizen says socialism doesn't work, communism doesn't work, capitalism doesn't work. We'll have to do something unique. But that's the whole point. Like, you can't just be one. Anyone who tries to be all socialist never is. Everyone who says they're all communist, they never are. Everyone who says they're all capitalist, they never are. The idea is to try to mix up with governing principles and values so that you can try to do the best for your people. That's all we can do. This purist bullshit. I'm a capitalist. It's all bullshit. That's just branding. No one's a pure capitalist. Nobody.
Well, and when people don't know the definition of socialism
or
capitalism, and then you throw greed into it, it ruins everything.
Well, America's decided that we are going to incentivize greed, and we're gonna let the billionaires run the show. And so, of course, if you want to become a billionaire, get greedy, you'll become one of them, right? Every American what do they say? Every American is a temporarily inconvenienced billionaire.
And when you don't stop the greed, and when it's too big to fail, like the car manufacturers and Wall Street, pure capitalism would have let those fail.
Yeah, too big to fail. Yeah, they're too big to fail. I mean, what's so funny is, like, if you wanted to start a car company right now, what are you going to do? How are you going to do that? You couldn't.
They wouldn't let you.
They wouldn't let you. They'd destroy you.
Mm-hmm.
They'd destroy you. Just like they did the Tucker car. Remember they made a movie about it, the Tucker car or DeLorean. There's a long trail of bodies of people who tried to start car companies and take on the big guys. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Or they stamped out, stopped research on, algae producing energy and
the algae cars, the algae biofuel. Yeah. Or how about just biofuel in general? Like, you could run your car off cooking oil and shit. Nope.
Yep.
Not going to do that. Mr. Good Citizen, again, I hate when Republicans rail against socialism. Donald Trump just wants to nationalize what percentage of Spirit Airlines? And he's already nationalized the 10% of Intel, I think. I mean, it's just like that's corporatism, man. That's the bad part of fascism, and there's a bad part of socialism right there. That's the bad part of socialism right there in your face.
Remember, for 20 years, we paid a little extra on our internet, cable, and cell phone bills and phone, landlines for infrastructure for everyone to have internet within, 20 years.
So that all the rural people could have internet. All the people living in the sticks could have internet.
And we're still paying those fees, and it hasn't happened.
It hasn't happened. Of course not. I'm still paying taxes on a bullet train in California too. So, it pisses me off because they're like a, I don't know, like $10 billion over budget or something like that. It's still not even close to finish, and we're dropping $50 billion in the fucking desert. And
right.
What do you mean we're dropping $50 billion in the desert? You're telling me that we can't just finish this train right here? Let's just take that $50 billion, dump it on that train. Let's get some shit going here. Let's build, if the Chinese said tomorrow, if the Chinese announced tomorrow that they were going to build a transcontinental bullet train across their giant country, I'd believe it. If they said it'd be done in 5 years, I'd believe it. If they said the same thing in America right now, they're going to build a bullet train from New York to LA in 5 years,
I'd laugh.
I'd laugh. They're not going to do that.
Yes, it's crazy.
We have socialism, LOL. Yes, we do. Hype for game stream tonight. I'm hyped for the game stream tonight too. We have socialism. Yes, we do have socialism, but the bad parts are coming home to roost. All the bad parts are coming home, guys. We've had socialism a very long time. The second we had compulsory education, and I mean, they didn't call it socialism back then, and they didn't call it capitalism back then either, by the way. But we've had socialism from basically day one in America, and now we got the bad parts, though. We're getting some of the bad parts of socialism.
Uncontrolled siphoning of taxes used on things that we don't want it used on. I don't want my tax dollars killing school children in Iran. And
but it's far worse. Why are we killing school children in Iran? It's far worse than just being used for something that you don't like. The reason why it's being used for things that you don't like is because they're taking it from us and giving it to billion-dollar corporations. They take it from us and they give it to private corporations. That's the worst form of socialism. They take money from us, like the Affordable Care Act. They take money from us and they give it to the insurance companies so that they'll pinky promise that they'll lower our rates.
Or you've got Walmart, who has some of the most underpaid employees in this country.
They're on food stamps.
Who are on food stamps and are on Medicaid and spend their food stamps at Walmart, are not making enough to survive. Walmart's recouping that money. Plus, they're getting tax breaks on employing X amount of people. Nobody talks about corporate welfare like they talk about food stamps.
Also, when they build a Walmart, they get tax dollars to help build it, and all the infrastructure and the parking lot and all the street lights and all the stuff that they need to build a Walmart. We pay for all that, and then if they build a Walmart in your town, they get like 10 years of tax free.
Yep.
So it's like, what? This is the worst part of socialism.
Anytime somebody bitches about the welfare queen, which is a made-up thing, Reagan made it up, I think of Elon Musk, I think of the Waltons, I think of the Sacklers. They're the welfare queens.
Yeah, of course. It's the fascist side of socialism. That's what it is. This is why Mussolini said that he misnamed. Mussolini said he made a mistake naming fascism, and he should have called it corporatism, because the core of the movement is the cooperation of corporations and the government.
Yep.
So, it drives me crazy that people are, these corporations have much smarter people working for them than we do in our government. That's the problem. Of course, why would you work for the government if you can make way more money in the corporate sector?
That's why people leave the government and go become lobbyists.
That's right. Or board members of whatever company they used to regulate.
And I just realized, so they're also then using our tax dollars as the subsidies to pay lobbyists, to pay politicians.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
I mean, it's funny. You know, I've met so many people when I was in Vegas. I met a lot of people that used to be inspectors because health inspection is very important in
Right?
Las Vegas.
Yep.
But the dream of the health inspector, you get a job with the government for a while, and then you go work for these casinos, and then you're an in-house health inspector that's paid by the corporation, and you're just a corporate guy that goes through and makes sure that they can pass the health inspection before the health inspector gets there. That's your job. And that's the end game for all those guys. That's where the money is. They go work for a while at the city for a pittance, and then they move to the private sector and they make 5 times as much money.
Just like I learned who my labor inspector was and my health inspector when I seen them pull in to my parking lot. I had their coffee ready. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you
Mm-hmm.
know,
Got to kiss their asses, man.
yep.
I almost don't mind that. I wish we had a similar trajectory, a career trajectory for our politicians. Like, okay, so you worked for the government now for 8 years. It's time to go. Time to go write a book, pal. Time to go teach. Do something. Go teach poli science. I don't give a shit what you do. Get the fuck out of here. I'm so sick of these guys. I'm sick of knowing who Lindsey Graham is for 25
Ugh.
years. 25 years he's been fucking. Why do I have to know who Lindsey Graham is today? He shouldn't be there. Chuck
Yep.
Grassley. These guys, I've known these guys my whole life. People, I have hated Joe Biden my whole life.
Yeah, when he tore apart Anita Hill.
Anita Hill, yeah.
Yeah, fuck
that's
that. Fuck him.
I was just a kid. I
Yeah,
hated him
me
when I was a
too.
kid.
Me too. And I was like, this is wrong.
Right. I remember learning about it and knowing about it and being like, he's a piece of shit. I hate Democrats. I think I started hating Democrats back then. Although, you know, every once in a while a Democrat, I kind of like them, but that's usually at the local level. I've never liked a Democrat at the presidential level or anything higher than like governor.
The only
liked a
Democrats that
Republican
I
like that.
have like had a liking for have been very progressive. Progressive
Bernie.
socialist. Talib,
Yeah.
AOC, Bernie, you know, the just the progressive. And now we're having a problem with them because, like, it just happened in Illinois. They had a bunch of progressives that were running against a corporate Democrat.
Mhm.
And one of the progressive Democrats was like a shoo-in. But because there were 3 other socialist Democrats who would not give up the run and pledge to the running, you know, the front runner,
They wouldn't defer, yeah.
the corporate Democrat took the election.
There you go. Divide and conquer, I guess. You'll see the same thing on the other side, though. You'll see the MAGers. Pretty soon, you'll see the MAGA Republican run against the traditional Republican, and they'll have to, you know, they'll split the ticket again. I think that those days are coming really soon because the Donald Trump endorsement is not what it used to be, and it might be a poison touch now.
Right.
It might be a poison
Touch of death.
Yeah, it might be a touch of death if Donald Trump says he likes you. So might be, yeah.
Midas.
Oh man. Well, yeah. Okay. Well, that's the end of the show. I appreciate you coming on, Smoking Blondie.
Thanks for having me.
In. You called it. You came in hot. I like it. Thank you.
I was like, nope, not calling in today. And then I was like, what? He's the bad guy? I'm like, no way.
I was the bad guy. I'm the bad guy. I'm too mean to maggers.
Please. It's not like, I mean, come on.
Yeah, I mean, but I've had that my whole life where it's like I'm constantly having to deal with, you know, every time I'm an activist.
I got it.
Tell me I'm doing it wrong.
I got it. Try being a woman and an activist.
Oh yeah, I mean, I guess that's true too. But every time, you know, in an activist situation, you get these guys telling you that you're doing it wrong. That's okay. That's because they care. People care. And they want you to do it right. They want you to be more effective. But it's always, it's common that rather than attack the argument, you attack like how the message is being delivered. So I mean, it's all right though.
But that's kind of where part of the reason we're in the situation we're in though is because people have been too nice playing by the rules that have always worked in the past. And when Trump came on the scene, those rules went out the window. So people who were too nice, people who didn't call the shit out, didn't act the way he did, got us this way because it was perceived as weak. Well, look at him. He calls people names, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's part of the problem.
It is part of the problem. It is, but it's a problem that's not going away. So you might as well embrace it. And but I don't mind. I don't know. I would say you don't need to get so heated, but I like it when you're heated and you come on the show. So thank you. You don't have to get so. Turn
I
on the
didn't call
heat.
any names or anything, so at least I'm down. I could get way more heated.
Good. I like it. All right, but I'm gonna kick you out for now. Hopefully
Okay.
you'll call in. I'll do the show again tomorrow, and I hope you'll see you then. Okay. Thanks,
Yep.
Smoking Blondie. We are going to do another stream at 5 today. That is in 2 hours ish. For the next show, it is just gaming. We're doing a game. We're playing Pragmata, a game that I am enjoying immensely. We played the first part last night, and I had a great time. Ask your dumbass callers if they know the countries that border Iran so that they know the supply routes into Iran and that those supply routes supply. Let me see if I can do it. Iraq, Azerbaijan, right? Turkmenistan, Pakistan, I think. Am I missing one? The Kurds are in Iraq, Iran, and Turkey. Syria, maybe? No, I don't think Syria actually touches it. I don't know. Is that right? I think that's it. Pakistan, then Afghanistan too, I guess. Afghanistan also borders Iran. Is that right? I think I got it right. I'm not a dumbass. Lebanon? Does Lebanon touch? I don't think Lebanon touches Iran. No, I don't think so. No, Lebanon doesn't touch Iran. Lebanon, it can't because I don't think Syria is really close and Lebanon's on the other side of Syria. So no, Lebanon's over by the Mediterranean. Because you could tell because they eat like you could tell by their food, like Lebanese food is always is Lebanon's over by Israel. That's over on the other side of the over by the Mediterranean. But the Gulf states are. Hold on, let me just look up the map. I'm gonna look up the map. I think I got it right. I think I got it. How many of them are allies? Hold on a second. Let me just look up the map. Map of Iran. Okay, so here's the map of Iran. Okay, I got Azerbaijan. Azerbaijan, Turkey. Yeah, Syria. I thought maybe Syria, but Syria doesn't actually touch it. Lebanon's over here. Iraq, Kuwait. Oman is down here. They're on the other side of the water, though. I usually say Saudi Arabia controls the other side, but Oman controls this Strait of Hormuz and Saudi Arabia. Like this whole side of the Persian Gulf, UAE. These are like our boys over here. America kind of like really likes these. No clash of civilization over on this side, on the west side, because I guess because America, we just love the Saudis, man. We love the Saudis. They're our best friends. No clash of civilizations over here, no matter how fundamentalist Muslims they get. They're fundamentalist Muslims in Kuwait and Saudi Arabia, no problem. Iraq. But yeah, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Turkmenistan. Okay, I got those right. So what did I miss? I don't think I missed. I think maybe I missed Kuwait. But Kuwait doesn't really touch it. Kuwait doesn't, or maybe it does have a border with Iran. But no, I think I nailed it, guys. I think I nailed your little pop quiz there. Did I miss one? I don't think so. See, the Kurds live right here in these three countries, and they all take turns killing the Kurds. The northern Iraq and part of Syria, Syrians kill them too. But Syria, they've been killing Kurds. Iraq kills Kurds. Iran kills Kurds, and Turkey kills Kurds. It's been a sticking point for Turkey. Turkey wasn't supposed to be in the European Union because of their human rights violations against the Kurds. They think of this area like Kurdistan. There's a nation of Kurdistan, but it has no borders. And see, Israel's over here. And the Jordan River comes through here. So when they say river to the sea, they're talking about the Jordan River and the Mediterranean Sea. That's how you can remember where Israel is. It's all the way over here. It's practically in Africa because here's Cairo. It's right on it's right next to this strait. Sorry, the canal of the Red Sea. No, the Dead Sea, the Dead Sea, the Dead Sea, the Red Sea. So this is the Suez Canal right here. That is like, man, if you ever talked, I've never been there, but I've had friends that have been through the Suez Canal on military ships, and they'll tell you like it's fucking. They go in locked and loaded into the Suez Canal. It's so crazy. Same thing with the Strait of Hormuz. When our boats go in there, they go in locked and loaded, like all ready for war. Friends that I've had that have been on boats going through, they say it's like super stressful going through the Strait of Hormuz or going through the Suez Canal. Anyway, I think I nailed the pop quiz. I don't think I missed one. But yeah, thanks for that. I appreciate that. It makes me feel better. Don't care about Israel. Why don't we like the Kurds? Oh, why don't we like the Kurds? Well, the Kurds usually are freedom fighters. Everyone uses the Kurds. There's even a theory that the people who were protesting in Iran, the ones that were killed, their own citizens. You hear about this a lot. Like Iran killed 50,000 of their own citizens. A lot of people think that those were coerced or tricked Kurds, that America tricked, because we've done that a few times. We've told the Kurds to go protest and we'll back you up. And then they do that and we don't, and they all die. That has happened a bunch of times where the Kurds, they want their own nation. They want their own shit, and they don't have it. And those four countries don't want to give it to them, and so they hate them. They kill them. They kill them. They kill them. So, yeah. Kurds. Armenia? I guess Armenia is up there by Georgia, right? Is Armenia up there by... Yeah, I guess this is Armenia. I guess, is it bordering? I guess they might share a border with Iran. Isn't that Armenia right there? Georgia. Sibili. The capital of Georgia is a fun name. Sibili. It's got a fun name. Yeah, Armenia does have a border. You're right. I missed Armenia. Shit. I missed Armenia. Fair play. I missed one. I missed Armenia. I didn't know that they had this little piece coming down here. I guess, and this is Turkey right here. So, yeah, that makes sense. Tbilisi. I love the name of the capital of Georgia, Tbilisi. I had a friend from there, Tbilisi, from Georgia. She was really cool. She was a foreign J1 visa holder that I worked with. But these are right. You got the TAP countries, right? The stands: Turkmenistan, Afghanistan, Pakistan, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, Kyrgyzstan. But yeah, okay. So I missed one. I missed Armenia, and technically Kuwait does not border them. I thought Kuwait might have had a border right here with them, but they don't, because they all want a piece of the action on there. So it looks like Iraq, that's Iraq's little little piece of the Persian Gulf. Makes sense, right? They needed a piece. Everyone's reaching here to get the oil through here. In Kuwait, they got a ton of oil. Bahrain to Qatar. Anyway, we are also at war in Lebanon, where our greatest ally, Israel, is killing thousands of people and saying that they're all Hezbollah. They're bombing buildings and saying that's where Hezbollah lives. Anyway, that's your geography lesson of the day. Thank you so much for joining the Skyjack Morgan show. This is Skyline, and I hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, Iran to Caspian Sea, Russia to China. Yes, it's not so much the oil, but access to the, access to the Gulf. Yeah, they want access to the Gulf so they can get their goods and services to market, right? Access to trade. Thank you so much. Illegitimate non-copyrighted. Don't let the bastards grind you down because I need you, we need each other, and the animals need us most of all. And Godspeed, rebels. I'll see you at 5 o'clock. Thanks. Take care of each other.
Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so friggin' much.